All right. So again, a very good morning, Apoorv. If you are ready, we can begin with the mock.
Good morning, sir. Yes, I'm ready, sir.
All right. So, Apoorv, we could see from your DAP that you are working with Ministry of Finance, right, and the Department of Revenue in Itanagar, right?
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell us something more about your job?
Sir, so I'm basically a GST inspector. I'm working in a range office in Arunachal Pradesh. So my posting is exactly currently in Namsai, and my in range office I'm working under the under a superintendent, and my role is primarily to deal with GST related issues for the public. We are the first point of contact for the public, and for the department, we are the linking link to the direct public.
All right. So, like Apoorv, can you tell us for the state of Arunachal Pradesh, what are the sources of revenue other than the grant from the central government? What could be the sources of revenue?
Sir, in terms of taxation or general source of revenue?
In terms of taxation or for the government, right? Revenue for the government from whatever form it could be.
Sir, in generally in terms of government, the source primary source could be the forest timber itself. 79% of Arunachal has forest, and out of those, almost 61% is very dense and moderately dense forest. As far as the taxation part is concerned, generally wood product is again one of the very important source of revenue for us. Also, work contract goes on a lot in Arunachal Pradesh. Tea is another area from which we derive a lot of revenue.
Okay. So, like, you are from Uttar Pradesh and you have worked in Arunachal Pradesh also. So, like, can you compare
Yes, sir.
the flora of the two states? What is the difference between the flora in general?
So in terms of flora, Uttar Pradesh being in northern part of Uttar Pradesh being in Terai bed, and we primarily being a tropical plain area. So primarily Sal forest is what is there in UP. Northern belt of Uttar Pradesh and southern part of Uttar Pradesh also has some teak in it. As compared to this Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal is primarily a hilly state, and there more of chestnut and oaks and conifers that are found as compared to Uttar Pradesh.
All right, good. Right. So, Apoorv, you're also from geology background, and Arunachal Pradesh is like endowed with a lot of hydropower potential, right? So,
Right, sir.
like, can you tell me the difference between a dam with a hydroelectric power project and a run of river project?
So in dam, the primary mechanism through which electricity is produced, the river flow is obstructed, and the water it gets collected in a reservoir. And after the collection, the water is allowed to be flowed as per the needs of the hydroelectric power plant. As far as the run of the river project, such the vast reservoir as such is not needed, and the stream flow itself is used as a source of moving turbine and producing electricity.
Okay. So, like, which of them is are more benevolent for the environment?
Sir, definitely the run of the river projects are more benevolent for the environment. For dam, we have to clear a lot of forest. We also have heard the clear flow of the river, and also a lot of people have to be displaced for the dam.
Okay. Also, like, tell me the geological reasons behind India having less oil reserves and this Arabian countries they have a lot of oil reserves.
So one of the big reason is the geology itself. So when India started moving from the India was part of Gondwana land earlier, and when it started moving northwards, oil are formed when the forest land, the green land gets covered by water. There is submergence in water. So when this where the submergence takes place, that is when oil gets formed. So when India was moving northwards, there were very less area that was submerged in India as compared to areas in Middle East where there was lot of submergence, and there that is why the oil is there. In India, oil is there in only certain parts that got submerged in water, be it Gujarat region, or the Bombay High region, or towards the northeast, the Cambay Basin.
Okay. So like it was partially right, but it was not like 100%. Let's read a bit more on it, right? So my last two
Yes,
question
I
to
will.
you, okay. So my last two question to you from the environment is like, firstly, suppose I will give you a scenario when suppose you're watching National Geographic or Discovery Channel, and like before that, can you tell me where the rhinoceros are found in India, in which national park?
Currently, rhinoceros are found in northeastern region. Primarily, they are found in Kaziranga National Park, but over the period of time, they are also found in other national parks such as Orang and Nameri and Manas, and they are also found in UP where they were relocated in 1984 in Dudhwa National Park.
Okay. So suppose you are watching a video. In that video, you could come across a rhinoceros as well as an elephant and lion. So can you guess which protected area could this be, or what area this could be?
Sir, because lions are only Asiatic lions are only found in Gir region of India, so by that it has to be somewhere in Saurashtra.
So like in Saurashtra, rhinoceros are found.
So I don't think so, but I am sure that lions are not found anywhere else in the country.
Okay. So it could be a zoo, right? Or it could be a protected area outside India also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I thought you were referring
So
to India. Sorry, sir.
right, it's all right. So like Apoorv, my last question to you is that have you heard about the term vermins?
Yes, sir.
And do you know what is culling?
Yes, sir. I do. I do understand what is culling.
Okay. So there has been demand of culling from a lot of state, right? Whenever these vermin animal they become a greater nuisance, right? So suppose as a DFO, you are posted as a DFO in maybe a district in Madhya Pradesh or maybe in Uttar Pradesh, right? And there has been demand from local people about the great nuisance of monkeys, right? And they wanted them to be culled, right? So how will you approach the issue of culling and the demand, right? How will you address all these stakeholders?
Sir, firstly, I'll try to speak to the people what exactly issue is the issue, and will try to investigate what are the issues, or what are the exact problem is there. And if the menace is big enough, I can recommend it to the state government. It is only the state government that can allow culling in the Schedule 5 of Wildlife Protection Act, and that too for 60 days.
Okay,
And
like sorry to interrupt. Like I'm not asking the legal. I'm just asking your point of view. Right? You are the authority who could undertake culling, right? I'm giving you this in the case study, and the issue is like suppose the monkeys are picking up the child of the villagers, right? So it is a big nuisance, right? They are even hurting the people around them. So this is the issue. And what will be your stance, right? I don't want the legal dimension. What is your take on culling?
Sir, I think firstly, the culling is a typical. I mean, the vermin in itself is a typical example of man-animal conflict. So man-animal conflict often happens because in the peripheral areas, or in the areas close to the habitation, there are a lot of animals. So firstly, I'll try to reduce, if it is possible, to reduce the man-animal conflict. But for example, in case of monkeys, we could have some areas in the forest itself where we can have enough orchards or enough fruit trees where monkeys can live. So if possible, we'll try to avoid. If the next step, if it is not possible and monkeys are still becoming a nuisance to the public, I'll try to have more conversation with the public itself, because often it is seen that in the areas where there are people are aware of what exactly the animal behave, how exactly the animal behaves, these conflicts are reduced. And if they are the conflict still continues, as a last resort, I'll recommend that the culling can take place.
All right. So like thank you. That's all from my side. Over to Adam,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Apoorv, I was seeing your DAF. You're from UP, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, why hasn't Ganga cleaning been successful?
Sir, so Ganga cleaning has been going on since 1980s. We have had several programs, but it has failed for us for several reasons. The Firstly, we have to understand the causes, and then we can say why it has failed. So, firstly, the pollution from that come from the point sources in the form of industries is there, that can be controlled. That is one area that can be controlled to a maximum extent if the implementation of the recommendations are well in place. But we have often seen that implementation has failed to a large extent. Secondly, in terms of sewage, we have seen that the areas around the Ganga region, the cities around the Ganga region, there the sewage system is not the sewage system is allowed to be flown in Ganga. So that has been another failure where we have not been able to. Thirdly, there is huge population living around that river. So there are non-point sources of issues, like agriculture is a big thing in UP, and that pesticide and other things flows. That is another reason, and that we have also not been able to control. And lastly, the Ganga is a religious has a religious significance. So throughout the banks of Ganga, be it Kanpur or Varanasi, there has been religious activities that have continued, and it is very difficult to, I would say, stop those religious activities. So mitigating activities that should be taken have not been undertaken as well.
Apoorv, there's one environment-related project in our country that has largely been successful. Do you know which one?
No, sir. If I could have more context, maybe I'll be able to.
Project Tiger. It's
Right,
largely
sir.
been successful. So why
Yes,
has
sir.
it been successful?
So, Project Tiger, one of the reasons that I know that Project Tiger has been so successful is because a lot of awareness was created when Project Tiger started. So, it was started on the after on the back of Sariska crisis when this was started. So, there was a lot of people, like everybody in this, from schools to cities, knew that Project Tiger was being started. So, that is one. Secondly, tiger is our national animal, so there was more sentiments involved with respect to tiger. Like everybody is thrilled to see a tiger, and also tiger has also a religious connotation, which was also used well that people could actually come forward and protect it.
Okay. So you're working in Itanagar.
Yes, sir.
There's a place very close to Itanagar that is on UNESCO tentative list of World Heritage Sites. Do you know which one?
No, sir.
It's Zero Valley.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of Zero Valley?
Yes, sir.
Apatani tribes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you have to go for roadside plantation and you have to choose between evergreen trees and deciduous trees, which one will you choose and why?
Sir, I think both have their own advantages and disadvantages, but I think I'll go with evergreen trees uh, because their leaves are found all around the year, and they are green. And in general, because deciduous trees shed their leaves in winter, so in winter, particularly when pollution is there a lot in our urban areas, so that mitigating effects get reduced. So I will plant evergreen trees so that leaves are there throughout the year.
Hmm. Can you relate it to flooding, urban flooding, waterlogging of roads?
Sir, in terms of urban trees, trees, as we know, are great catchment for the flowing water. So if there are trees around a road or on any area, they'll try to catch maximum water there itself, preventing water from flowing in the open areas where they can cause flooding.
Any other reason
For flooding, or sir,
for,
evergreen trees?
for choosing evergreen trees and not deciduous trees? See, the government directive is that you should choose evergreen trees because deciduous trees, now when they shed leaves, they block the drainage, and that
Right,
causes
sir.
waterlogging.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a target of 33% of forest cover. Do you
Yes,
think
sir.
it's possible? Do you think it's actually possible to achieve that target?
Sir, I believe that it is actually possible to achieve targets, and I have my reasons to say so, sir. As we move forward, firstly, we know that there is a lot of degraded land and there is a lot of wasteland in our country. So that is one area that through on which the forest can be expanded. And as we move forward, there would be a lot of urbanization in the country, and as this urbanization happens, the pressure on land reduces. And once the pressure on land reduces, be it in the especially in the rural areas where currently there's land encroachment, there is a lot of in terms of fodder and in terms of fuel wood, there is a lot of pressure in forward where regeneration often fails because of these two reasons. So as and when urbanization starts and as and when more development takes place, I think these pressures will reduce. And when we can get start more regeneration, and those wasteland and the degraded areas can be used to expand the forest in our country.
Okay. But if we use them to expand the forests, what will be the quality of those forests? We will at best be planting plantations. So plantations don't have the same ecological value as forests. What's your opinion?
Sir, it will have to be very gradual. I mean, the native species have to be planted rather than just the plantation. I think mixed forest could be planted. Like there is a lot of debate around the success of Miyawaki plantation, but in Miyawaki plantations, there are mixed species and the native species that are planted, and not just the plantation itself. So, yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me, what are the new Ramsar sites in Uttar Pradesh?
Sir, so in last 2 3 years, there have been a lot of Ramsar sites that have been added to Uttar Pradesh. Most recently, Hyderpur wetland has been added to it.
Okay, a few more.
Sir, other than that, this sandy wetland, Sarsai Nehar has been added. Parvati Agra has been added. Nawabganj wetland has been added. Sur Sarovar in Agra that has been added.
Okay, are these natural or man-made?
Sir, Sur Sarovar is man-made. Uh, I'm not sure of the others, but I think most others are natural. But Sur Sarovar is man-made.
Read about it. Most of them are man-made.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so my final question to you: have you heard of Extinction Rebellion?
Yes, sir, I've heard about it.
What is it?
So it was the initiative of college-going students in England, wherein they were fighting against the man-made the changes that we are causing, leading to extinction of several species. So it was the moment that was started in England and against the climate change and against the human issues that we are causing.
Okay. Okay, I'll ask you one more question.
Yes, sir.
Give me examples of biodiversity loss, but not the ones that you have read in newspaper, ones that you have observed yourself.
Sir, I didn't get your question.
Give me some examples of biodiversity loss. Okay,
But
but but not the ones that we hear in news or we read in the newspaper. Something that you have observed yourself.
sir, uh, currently, like I'm located in Delhi in today. So in
Mhm.
Delhi was supposed to be the bird capital. It was called the bird capital. But right now we see lot of loss of birds. In everyday life, we see a lot of birds that are lying, especially crows and pigeons. Though they are present in large number, but we are seeing their loss. And sparrow loss is very well documented in Delhi. That is one thing I've seen.
Have you observed something in Itanagar?
Sir, in Itanagar, for example, there is a lot of issue around Mithun animal. So it is, despite being the state animal of the state, there is a lot of their killing is goes on in large number, and there is a lot of debate around whether it should be killed or whether it should be protected.
Okay. Thank you, Apoorv. That will be all.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Apoorv.
Good morning, sir.
So you come from Lucknow and you studied in Dhanbad.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference in terms of forest and forest types in those two places?
Sir, in UP and in Jharkhand, primarily sal forests are found in both the state. UP the forest types are slightly on the drier side, which means we have more of tropical thorn, dry deciduous, and littoral and swamp forests in India. We also have in UP we also have moist deciduous and semi-evergreen trees, but there is a lot of drier types forests are found in UP. Compared to that, as in Jharkhand, there is slightly because of slightly more rainfall, and there are more evergreen and semi-evergreen trees, and there the trees are more. Again, salt forest is found in both the state, and teak forests are found in southern part of UP, but in Jharkhand, I don't think teak is found.
Okay. Why don't we have how much forest cover is there in Jharkhand?
Sir, 28%.
Okay. So why don't we have any significant wildlife in Jharkhand?
Sir, sir, may I take a guess? Why is
Yeah.
it so? Sir, I think it is because there is a lot of tribal population that is directly dependent on the forest, and also there are a lot of mining areas. Because of mining, those tribals are themselves shifted to other areas, which again creates pressure on the forest. And there is a huge population, about 3.3 crore population is there in Jharkhand, in that small state. So this could be one of the reasons why the wildlife is less in Jharkhand.
But Chhattisgarh also has mining places, Odisha also has mining places. And tribals have been referred as people who are living with the nature, not against the
Right.
nature.
Yes, sir.
Then,
Sir, another thing I could imagine is because of the geography of Jharkhand. Jharkhand is largely a plateau region. That is a slight, and there's a lot of I would say undulating terrain in Jharkhand. That could also be a reason.
undulating terrain.
Undulating terrain. I mean, the terrain itself is not very flat. It is primarily a plateau region. There is a lot of uh, small hills and all in Jharkhand.
Okay, Apoorv. Let animals decide where they want to stay. So you were talking about wasteland in India. How much wasteland is there in India?
Sir, as far as so I don't know the exact number of wasteland. The degraded land is said to be 30% as far as ISRO's land degradation atlas.
So tell me something new, like you are talking about plantation and those in these places. Why and talking about mixed forest and all? Why don't we, like in the government already in the forest department, why are they not taking up a mixed forest technique like you are suggesting here?
Sir, I think the reason being is the difficulty in management of those plantations, and also in terms of how they are grown in itself. There is a lot of issues when a mixed kind of forest is there. That management becomes difficult. Their region their I, I mean, their healthy living gets affected. I mean, it is difficult to manage on the part of foresters.
You said 3 points all related to management. Tell me how. How is this management difficult for in mixed forest?
Sir, because in forest area, the areas are generally large, and for constant management, there we know that constant felling and felling has to be done. Constant activities like pruning and etc. can has have to be done. So I think when their species are different, their growth rate at a different rate, and it might be difficult to manage this.
So then, why did you propose this? If it is so difficult and government is not taking up this issue, then you are suggesting that you will take up afforestation on wasteland.
That is why I mentioned that there is a lot of debate around Miyawaki forest method. It might have been successful in one place, but it has not been tried extensively in India. So there is very doubtful regarding how whether it would be feasible in India.
So how will you reach 33%? That is what you said, that you can reach 33%. Tell me that.
Sir, I think gradually, as we let the we maybe we can start with plantation, and slowly the other species can be allowed. But I'm not exactly aware of exactly how this is going to go forward.
Okay. What is the motto of IIT Dhanbad?
Sir, I don't remember. I don't recall right now.
Is there any particular song dedicated in IIT ISM Dhanbad?
Sir, I'm not aware of it.
Okay. Uh, Dhanbad is famous for three things. Tell me.
Sir, firstly, the fires in Jharia, those are very infamous, I would say. Fires in Jharia. Our college itself also is quite famous in the Dhanbad, and also Director General of Mine Safety that sits in the mine safety, and all they sit in the Dhanbad itself. So those are the three things.
You said only two things, Apoorv,
Sir,
and the two minds. Yeah.
firstly, firstly the mines area, secondly the college that I mentioned, and thirdly DGS, and the Director General of Mine Safety. That's it. That's it. There's just one Director General that sits in Dhanbad.
Okay. So what about Dhanbad Railways? The junction Dhanbad itself, it is the second junction that gives more revenue to country after Mumbai junction. Have you
So
not heard of?
I was not aware of it, sir.
Are you aware of that? There is a IT sector is also booming in Dhanbad.
Sir, I'm not aware of it, sir.
Okay. So you watch World War movies and documentaries.
Yes,
Could
sir.
you explain to us that the thing like World War, which happened in Europe, why didn't we have something like this in India also? Because we had smaller states, situation similar to that was there. Why didn't we have something like that in India?
Sir, there were several reasons for it. Firstly, the conditions in Europe and conditions in India were drastically different, because Europe was largely it was made of independent empires, and these empires had all forms of alliances and diplomatic issues that were going on, and they were armed in general. There was a lot of arms race that was going on in Europe. Compared to that, in India, because of the British, even when there were different states, even when there were different part regions in India where there was animosity, they were under the umbrella of Britishers, where they could have only the limited number of arms. They could only have limited number of soldiers in their armory, and the Britishers played an important role in the diplomatic ties between the two. So even if there is a rivalry, the Britishers, that for their own benefit, they intervened. So that could be one of the reasons why nothing like that happened in India and it happened in Europe.
Are conditions today conducive enough to witness Third World War?
Sir, I don't think so. Conditions today are conducive enough, because right now we are linked in several ways with a lot of countries. For example, even today, when Ukraine was attacked by Russia, there were very few countries coming forward to for the safeguarding of Europe. Like for example, in terms of connection, like for example, Europe itself is dependent on about for 30%, 45% of their gas on Russia itself. So it is very difficult for these countries to support in terms of direct I would say soldiers, and direct support is very difficult. So in that way, it is difficult. Even in case of Taiwan, like it is considered another flashpoint. That could be another flashpoint. There is a lot of stakes involved. There are a lot of different economic things involved before any world war can take place, which was not true back 100 years back.
Okay. What do you understand by ethnobotany?
Sir, ethnobotany is that branch of forestry where the tribal knowledge in terms of the flora and fauna is used for the benefit of mankind.
Okay. Have you heard the term PVTGs?
Yes, sir.
Can you name three PVTGs from Jharkhand?
No, sir, I won't be able to. I don't recall.
Okay. Have you heard the term NTFP?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever
Non-timber.
tasted any one of them?
Sir, no, we have in terms of medicinal use, we still use a lot of things in our daily life. For example, during COVID times, we have used to have kada, and that also was to a large extent derived from things from the forest itself.
Like,
For example, this Sarpgandha, Raufelia serpentina, that is one of the minor forest produce. We also have this mostly Ashwagandha. These are also minor forest produce. In terms of Kada, I was suggesting.
apart from that,
S- So I am not able to recollect at the moment.
which regions of India support this Ashwagandha, Sarvagandha?
So these are in the central part of India. These are found in good number. Even in UP, it is found.
Okay. What is the difference between medicinal plant and NTFPs?
Sir, non-timber forest produce is any produce other than timber and that are collected by the tribes. That these are non-timber forest produce. Medicinal plants are a particular type wherein they have medicinal property and that are used by the people.
Okay. Do we have any law related to this
Related to, sir.
use of medicinal plants and all?
So we have Biodiversity Act of 2002, wherein we have to use it sustainably and share the benefits with the local communities.
Okay. Okay. That's all from my side, Abu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Abu.
Hello, sir.
Am I able to hear?
Sir, your voice is breaking in the middle and your video is frozen. Yeah, it is.
Am I audible right now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. So you are aware of this bifurcation of Uttar Pradesh, right?
Yes, sir.
So what were the implications of this bifurcation? Has it been beneficial for the states?
Sir, I think this bifurcation of Uttar Pradesh was primarily the demand of the Uttarakhand region, the hilly state that they wanted. They felt that hill areas are often ignored by the ruling class in Uttar Pradesh. So I think it is it I think for Uttarakhand we have seen that they have had their own pace of development as compared to Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh currently has been doing fairly well in terms of infrastructure, in terms of roads, in terms of transport and everything as compared to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand has primary developing their primary source is tourism is one of the very important source for them. So they have their own tourist priorities set, wherein they have Char Dham projects and other projects. So I think, sir, we both the states have done well, maybe to a different extent.
Okay. But still after the bifurcation, Uttar Pradesh has the largest population. Okay. And uh, if it were a country, it would be like fourth largest country in the world. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So don't you think we can trifurcate Uttar Pradesh? Like there should be a eastern, western, and central Uttar Pradesh. It will be easier for the governance purpose.
Sir, I don't think trifurcation is a good idea because, sir, there is no reason to suggest that smaller states are better governed as such. We have seen there is no evidence as such, and also I feel in terms of larger state, the projects in itself can be taken on a larger scale where they can benefit from the economies of scale. For example, in Uttar Pradesh currently there is a lot of connectivity happening in terms of expressways. Had it been interstate issues, had it been there were several states, the revenues would have been slightly less. There would have been in terms of acquisition, in terms of connecting, it would have been difficult. So I don't see any. I don't think trifurcation as such is needed.
Okay. So you are interested in cricket as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So there are two Indian players who have played World Cup, 6 editions of World Cup. Okay. So can you name them?
So may I take a moment to think?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, does it include T20 World Cup as well, or just the 50 over World Cup?
It's 50 over World Cup.
Sir, one of them is Sachin Tendulkar. I'm not sure who could be the other one.
It could be a female as well.
So it could be one between Mithali Raj or Jhulan Goswami, but I'm not sure which one.
Okay, it's Mithali Raj, right?
Okay, sir.
So it is said that the seeds of Second World War, they were already sown with the Treaty of Versailles. Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir. It is one of the World War II happens because of several reasons, and one of the reason was Treaty of Versailles. The reason being the Treaty of Versailles pushed very extreme condition, harsh condition on Germany, be it restricting their army to 1 lakh, be it taking the most productive areas of Germany on the Western Front in the form of Ruhr region and the Saar region, be it in terms of almost asking a lot of war reparation and leaving very little economy for that. For which Germany had to print a lot of money, which led to inflation, which led to ultimately nationalist uprising, which led to Hitler coming to the power. So a lot of reasons of World War II were because of Treaty of Versailles.
Okay. So can you tell us few GI tags of Arunachal Pradesh?
Sorry, sir, I don't know, sir.
Can you tell us few Ramsar sites in Arunachal Pradesh?
Sir, there are no Ramsar sites in Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay. And what is this Montrex record?
So Montreux record, it is a record wherein the sites wherein there are sites which are very rich wetlands which face threat from the humans. There are currently there were initially 3 sites. Right now we only have 2 sites. One is I know I am just not able to recall the names at the moment, but initially Chilka Lake was there, but now it is not there. And there are 2 sites currently that are placed in Montreux record. I can recall one. It is Loktak Lake in Manipur and Keoladev wetland in Rajasthan.
Okay, good. So you have been to Itanagar, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us 3 things which you would like to borrow from Itanagar and from Arunachal Pradesh, and you would like to bring it in Uttar Pradesh?
Sir, firstly, a sense of traffic that is very well in Arunachal Pradesh. People stick to one side of the road. People maintain distance between the two. So that is one. Sir, secondly, in terms of I would say in terms of their closeness to the nature, their preservation, their sense of worship and religion of the nature, be it in terms of hornbill or in terms of even fauna also. So that is another thing that could be brought to Uttar Pradesh. And thirdly, I think in general, people there are very peaceful as such, in the sense that people are not very confronting, which sometimes I feel in Uttar Pradesh there because of again a lot of population pressure and urban these stresses are there. So as compared to that, Arunachal is slightly more peaceful. There are lesser tussles there as compared to Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, and who is the current Chief Justice of India?
So I can just cannot. So I'm really sorry. I just cannot recall at the moment.
No problem. And who is the governor of Uttar Pradesh right now?
Sir, it is Anandiben Patel, Srimati Anandiben Patel, who is the governor of Uttar Pradesh right now.
Okay, thanks, Apoorv. That's all from my side. Now over to you, Mayank sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, like, if Adam sir want to ask few more questions, otherwise we will end the mock here.
Okay, give me an example where we had to choose between development and conservation.
Sir, there are so many places where this issue between development and conservation is there. The very prime example in Arunachal itself is the hydropower project, that is Italian hydropower project, that is coming in DSDB. Devru, Devang Dihang Biosphere Reserve, where this project is coming up, wherein we have development where we can produce a lot of electricity, but at the same time there would be a lot of forests submerged. There would be tribes that would be dislocated.
Okay, okay. Tell me, why is USA important to climate change?
Sir, USA is important because it is one of the biggest emitters of this CO2 and other greenhouse gases. It has the per capita of, the emission of USA even historical, even at present, it is very high. So when that starts, and in terms of, also in terms of geopolitics also, USA becomes important, because when a big power like USA, that is the part of, if it again comes back to Paris Agreement, and it follows, so it can pressurize, it can force other nations to take that step, and also it encourages developing nations also, because they feel that historical responsibility lies with the USA, and if that is taking part, the other nations can also come forward and do their bit.
Okay, convention on biological diversity.
Yes, sir.
Was it a success or a failure?
Sir, I feel it is largely a success in terms of, like, for example, we have brought our own laws in terms of convention of biodiversity, wherein we have preserved biodiversity and also have managed to share the benefit with the local people. So even in India, the this people's biodiversity registers have been formed, even especially after the Supreme Court verdict. So with that, we know that the knowledge is well documented now. It can be protected, it can be preserved, and the benefit can be shared with the local people. So I would say it is largely been a success.
Okay, have you heard of Aichi biodiversity targets?
Yes, sir, I've heard about
How
it.
how many targets are there?
So there are 20 targets, IG biodiversity target, but in India we have amalgamated in 12 biodiversity targets.
At a global level, how many of the 20 targets have been met?
Sir, I'm not sure about it.
Okay, read more about it. It's not considered to be a success because by and large we haven't been able to meet any of the targets. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
sir.
My last question: why is Montreal considered to be a success?
So Montreal is considered to be success because largely it was believed to be, it was voluntary in nature, wherein countries voluntarily came forward and tried to protect it, and it started in 1987, and so far we have seen that the healing of Antarctica has taken place, and also we were able to find a replacement of chlorofluorocarbon, and with respect to hydrofluorocarbon, which are, again, we are seeking to phase out with Kigali Agreement. So it was largely success because of two reasons: being voluntary in nature, and secondly, we were able to find the replacement.
Good. Okay, over to Mayank, sir.
So I think we will end the mock here, Apoorv, right? So you can leave